We're at 3415 Oakview Place, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. Going through the PVC cleanout in the center rear of the basement. There's it's been replaced a little above the floor. It's old cast iron, and then they have the rest of it's been replaced with PVC. So under the ground, I'm expecting to find maybe some cast iron underneath the floor. If it was built in the 30s, it may just be clay all the way out. It may not really have much cast iron except for what's above ground. Not too far away from the street, but as you can see, there is the clean out. And as expected, we go straight into clay here. So, give a bit of toilet paper there. A little bit of mineral deposits there, nothing of concern. Got some stuff hanging on there. It's a connection there off to the left. See where the water is running in. So far the line looks extremely good. No water even sitting in the pipe. Right now the bottom of the pipe is actually on the top left corner. You can kind of see the flow marks of where the water is. There is a little bit of a crack here. Piece it's not in the flow line, and I don't see anything attached to it. I mean, it may be something just to note, but it doesn't look like it's affecting the flow at all. I will mark that on the way back, just so we know where that is. But it doesn't look like it's it's affecting anything. Something that could have been there for 30 years. It's hard to tell. Doesn't look like there's a bunch of ground intrusion or the mud around it flowing into the pipe. And that could have happened when they laid it. It's kind of hard to tell. There's a buildup of some material. I'm not really sure what that is. It looks like, we are 67 feet out there, so I believe it's where it's diving into the main. So that spot would be on MSD's property. So you're right here. If you look, this is where it connects to the main out in the street. So we have made it all the way to the main, and everything looks really good. The only thing I did see was a little bit of that one crack there, which like I said, it could have been there for a long period of time. It didn't seem like it was affecting anything. But when I pulled back to that point, it was about 34 feet. I will stop and locate that, and then maybe run some water just to see, how it passes that point. But the spot here has got me. It seems a little strange why this material is sitting in the pipe here. Why it's not passing here for some reason. So I am going to mark this point just because those are relatively large chunks of debris, for lack of a better term. Looks like natural material, but I am going to go ahead and mark this because this is on public property. So if there is an issue, that would be something that MSD would look at, and they would want to see proof of it with this video. So I'm going to pause here so that we don't have a bunch of dead airspace, and then I'm going to go out and locate approximately where this is.
Yeah.
Okay, so that spot is just inside the street. There's a catch basin right at the edge of the driveway here, and then once you get past that into the street, that's where this spot is. And it just seems like there's a lot of debris catching here. Maybe looks like a little belly. It doesn't look normally like a belly that size would catch this stuff, but you never can tell what'll do it. But there is a decent amount of debris there in the. See if I can get a better look at it once I get. But it just seems like there's a lot of solids right here in that one spot. So it doesn't look like it's blocking flow. The water's getting around it. I mean, it's a 6-inch pipe, so. But it would be something I would just keep in mind, because if it ever does cause an issue, they would want to. You would have to supply this video to the sewer district. I mean, all the water's getting around it, and maybe you get into heavy enough flow, get some, load of laundry or something, maybe that gets pushed all the way out to the main. You're only like 5 feet from the main, so it's, it wouldn't take much to get this to dump in there. It would just, you'd need a good flush of water. So, but everything else looks good with the exception of that crack, and that's just basically a mark for reference. I don't foresee that being an issue. But we always want to make note of things like that. Right around down here. There we go. And that's something that could be repaired with even a liner at some point if there is concern about it. But I'm gonna do the same I just did for that other spot, and we're gonna pause. I'm gonna get a locate and a mark. So this is underneath the driveway, just inside or just outside the driveway, past that new box drain that was put in there, and the new concrete. Oh, yeah. Now the bottom of this pipe is actually on the top left corner of the screen, so that is not on the bottom of the pipe. It's on the side. But I mean, that's definitely.
Was right here.
It's definitely an issue. So, but it's right at the corner of that spot. That would be that could be like I've said before. I mean, it could have been like this for years, or it could have been recent when they did the driveway. It's really hard to tell. I don't see any kind of, ground intrusion where it's coming through, but
Chris, we'll just recommend a plumber.
I would recommend to see what kind of repairs could be done for this. You could line it, but I have to make note of that. I don't think it's affecting flow, but I'd want to recommend having a little bit further investigation into repairing that. So that'll all be written up in my report. Bad thing is the rest of this pipe looks, almost immaculate. The way that, structurally for its age and everything. It's flowing wonderfully. The water's not sitting in the pipe. Everything looks great. Okay, so now we're in the vertical part of the clean out. And we are back out of the pipe. So again, we'll make note of all those findings in the report, but I think that might need a second opinion there to see what they think that would be a big enough issue to make a repair. But that's going to end the inspection at 3415 Oakview Place.